mechanic's voice crackled through the static, his gravelly tone sharp with the unmistakable edge of Tarkov's grim reality. Think like the hunter, not the prey, where the iron bird fell. Jaeger's cryptic riddle settled in my mind, like the metallic tang of gunpowder after a firefight. Sharp, lingering, and impossible to ignore. The objective was clear: retrieve an encrypted package. The location, however, was veiled in the stark poetry of this ravaged landscape. Priozersk Natural Reserve, the woods. A place where silence carried weight, where shadows hunted you as much as you hunted them. Time was not on my side. In Tarkov, it never was. My squad, a phantom force of one tonight, was already in motion. I adjusted the straps of my heavily modified plate carrier, feeling the familiar weight of my AK-74M. Its muzzle was bare. No suppressor tonight. Every shot would light up the forest like a flare. A risk I'd have to own. I heard an explosion in the distance. The dull thud rolled through the trees, its echo a grim reminder of how close chaos always lingered. It wasn't my fight, at least not yet. My plan was simple: minimize contact, maximize speed, secure the package. The wreckage of a downed plane loomed ahead, its skeletal frame a haunting silhouette against the tree line. This was the Iron Bird Jaeger had spoken of. I kept my distance, scanning the area with the instinct of a hunted man. The plane wasn't my target, but it marked the right place. I slipped the note into my encrypted pouch, sealing it as if it contained the very essence of survival. Its value wasn't in the paper itself, but in the knowledge it held, a piece of a larger puzzle in Tarkov's unforgiving game. With the objective secured, I began my trek toward the extraction point. The path ahead, however, was shrouded in uncertainty. It had been a long time since I'd set foot in the woods. Movement near the sawmill. PMC. Hostile. I stayed low, my breathing steady as I crept closer, scanning the area for any sign of movement. The guy had either underestimated his surroundings or gotten unlucky. His loss was my gain. He was fully kitted, a jackpot waiting to be claimed. Leaving empty-handed wasn't an option. In Tarkov, looting wasn't just survival. It was currency, the key to better gear and stronger runs. This encounter felt like a twisted stroke of fortune. As I worked, a faint rustle reached my ears, a sound just out of place enough to send a chill down my spine. I froze, every nerve on edge, straining to hear more. Scanning the tree line for movement. Nothing. A false alarm. Hands moving faster now. Movement. Their charge cut short before they could react. The camp fell silent again. but only for a moment. I exhaled sharply, the tension lingering in my chest. Now came the riskier part. I needed to get closer, to see what they had on them. Gear was everything in Tarkov, and every scav was a walking loot cache, if you were quick enough to take it. Hugging the tree line for cover, I began my cautious approach toward the bodies. The body hit the ground with a dull thud, another one down. This must have been what the scavs were rushing toward, a firefight they couldn't resist. My gut told me it had to be another PMC, and if I was right, I just hit the jackpot. Extra gear like that didn't just fill your stash, it kept you alive for the next run. I caught the sound of more boots crunching through the snow. More scavs, or maybe another PMC squad rolling in to clean house. Either way, the odds were stacking up fast. I moved instinctively, retreating toward the nearby shack to take a defensive position. It wasn't much, but the walls would give me cover, enough to reassess and make my next move. The air thickened, heavy with the acrid stench of gunpowder.
Yeah.
Shouts turned to screams, overlapping with the deafening staccato of automatic fire. Blood painted the white snow in violent streaks, marking the birth of another Tarkov massacre. Reinforcements kept coming, pouring into the area like rats to a corpse. The gunfire grew relentless, hammering into the landscape as the situation spiraled out of control. I could feel the odds shifting. Too many bodies, too many guns. The note in my pouch pressed against my side, a reminder of the mission. That was the prize, not the loot, not the kills. Tempting as it was, I couldn't let greed cloud my judgment. I wasn't here to die over some scavenger's wet dream of gear. was a desperate sprint, every muscle screaming for relief as I pushed through the pain. The weight of my gear and the burning wound in my side felt like anchors trying to drag me down, but my focus stayed razor sharp. My vision tunneled toward one goal: extraction. Finally, I made it here alive, battered, but breathing. My breath came in ragged gasps, each one visible in the freezing air. My legs trembled beneath me,